many of the walkways here are covered in that black material you see, which is a felt, and then the pebble rock on top of that, and that's to protect this mosaic tile that is, you see here, which is underneath most of the walkways. So we are in an ancient town of Perga, P-E-R-G-E, I believe it's pronounced Perga. And this is the older part that was built by the Corinthians. I forget the dates, but a long time ago.
Over 2,000 years ago.
Yes, 2,000 years ago. And so up on the hill actually was the original town that is no longer there, but I guess there's a few artifacts up there. But behind us is where the waterfall would come through. And you can see the channel in the river in the middle here where the water would flow down. And with the cover over the top, it would act as a cooling area, or a way to cool the area for the shoppers. This was basically a market shopping area on both sides.
And all the pillars signify just the entrance to the city.
So up there would have been a waterfall, and the water flows down the channel here with the shops on both sides. And then further down, this is the Corinthians built this, and then the Romans built the lower part, which we'll get in a minute there. But they had smaller, shorter, narrower columns here, and the thicker, taller columns by the Romans. If you think about the labor it would take 2,000 years ago to build the archways like this, plus the engineering to build them, it's pretty amazing. But they would take wooden poles to build the archways to support them until they were built, and everything was built around it. And then, as I guess motivation for the engineers to do a good job, as the poles were removed that supported them during building, the engineer was required to stand underneath the archway as they removed the supports. There were two large towers at this entrance to the city that were also used as watchtowers to look for any enemies coming. This was a bathing pool that visitors would use as they came to the city, right next to a changing room. Then they would get into the bathing pools as they've traveled a long ways and were in need of baths, I guess. And all of those archways here at the bathing pool, and also at some of the main entrances, the three entrances, wealthier people would pay to have their statues put in there. So you can imagine the bathing area and entrances with statues in all of those places, and then also those walls were typically had marble pieces all over them as well. This is what's left of the two watchtowers at the entrance that I was talking about earlier. And these are pieces that are being restored, or they take them apart, restore them, and put them back together. And they're all numbered and logged according to some international standard for rebuilding it.
We were hoping to see the inside of a mosque today, but we actually weren't prepared, and a gentleman signaled us in and covered my head with a beautiful yellow scarf and wrapped a wrap around to cover my legs, because to enter the mosque your head has to be covered and your shoulders and your legs. It was very touching, very beautiful, and he kissed my head and hugged us.
Yeah, we were very hesitant to go in, weren't even planning on going in because weren't dressed like they require, but the guy just motioned for us to come in, and he was so kind and got Maria all covered the way she needed to be, and he was just so excited that we were there. He even gave me his phone to take a picture of him and Maria as he hugged her and gave her a kiss on the head, because he was so excited that we were there. There were orange trees and mulberry trees all around this family's residence, which is right at the base of the aqueduct structure that you'll see in a minute here. And they do knitting and make all kinds of cloths and other materials that they sell there. So they squeezed us some fresh squeezed orange juice, and the one lady went out and picked us some mulberries from a tree, which were just incredibly sweet. That's good. This theater was beyond amazing, and they still hold shows and performances in there today. It was built to seat 9,000 people, but our tour guide told us he was in there for a show with 20,000 people. The acoustics are so incredible that they don't use any kind of electronic amplification, microphone speakers. Just normal voices from the stage can be heard to the top of the theater.